guys, it's Tiffany from Tip Stitched, and I'm bringing you a short video today on my recent haul of fabric patterns and notions from Joann's. I'm sure you guys know that Joann's had their McCall and Simplicity patterns on sale over the last week and a half. I think Simplicity started off the week, then the end of the week through the weekend they had McCall's on sale. So I grabbed a few patterns while I was out. Let's start with the McCall's patterns. I had to have McCall 7833. I originally passed on this pattern because it's actually a fall pattern, not a winter, because it looked like something I could hack from something I already have, and I just didn't feel like I needed to get the pattern. But then That's So Monica on Instagram chose this pattern for her Sew Your View, and so many cute versions of this pattern kept crossing my Instagram page. I just had to have it. I saw it in velvet, crutch velvet, Liverpool solids, metallic knits. It was great on everyone. I saw it posted. I mean, nothing's more flattering than a bodycon dress with a little ruching. So yeah, I gave in. Between that and the interesting hem and my fear of missing out, my FOMO, I went ahead and grabbed this one. Next up is one that I think is going to be really popular from the winter patterns, is 7863. And this is the shirt dress pattern. Go into focus. There we go. The shirt dress pattern. It has just about everything I like in a dress. It has a wrap bodice, which I'm always in favor for. I have on a wrap front shirt now. I love a wrap front. So it has a wrap front bodice. It's sort of like a shirt dress in the fact that it has a button placket down the center. It also has the ruching on the skirt, which again I think is flattering. I pretty much like everything about this. I have a really large scale plaid shirting that I would like to make this out of, but since I'm a little concerned about the fit and everything, and also the plaid matching because it's really large scale, I'm probably going to make that of a solid first, make sure the pattern works well for me, and then cut into that fabric and make another one. We'll see. This is a pattern I did not at all plan on picking up. I went specifically for those two and one more I'm going to show you, but when I saw this one, I broke down and got it. It's McCall 7874. Let me see if I can bring that one into focus. There's nothing exceptional about this pattern. It's just like an athleisure sort of pattern. It is a top that I think is recommended for, of course, knits. So it's just like a pullover hoodie kind of pattern, but it doesn't have a hoodie. But I need these kind of staples in my wardrobe. I never make them enough. And this one would be great for running out to errands, for going to my kids' soccer games in the cold, for running back from the gym when you're sweaty and hot, but you're about to run out into the cold air. So I definitely grabbed this one. It also has a high-waisted legging on the back, which I didn't realize was even in the pattern until after I purchased it. Let me see if I can get that into focus. And I love that for working out, a high-waisted legging. So I went ahead and grabbed this pattern. Again, they were on sale, just $1.99, so I couldn't pass it up, even though it wasn't on my list. And this was definitely on my list. These are pajamas. I don't know why I'm so excited about this pattern. It's a cute robe and some wide leg pajama pants. I'm thinking of using like an Ogden cami or some other cami pattern to make like a little camisole to wear with it. This is probably going to be my sew frosting if I can make it before the end of the month. If you don't know what sew frosting is, check out True Bias in Closet Case. Heather Lou and I can't remember the lady's name from True Bias got together and we're talking about you know, sewing the fun stuff, like not the basic everyday stuff, the frosting, not the cake. So for me, as boring as that sounds, these pajamas would be frosting, be fancy pajamas. I really like the robe version and I like the pajama pants. It has some contrast with some quilting on the collar and the sleeves, and it has some piping on the collar and on the pajama pants. Like, I just feel like if I made this in a nice satin charmeuse or maybe a nice soft flannel, it would just be luxurious. So I love the idea of this for holiday pajamas or just winter pajamas in general. Speaking of pajamas, as we move on to Simplicity, I have another pajama pattern, and it's Simplicity 8801. This is the display, so you'll see the display number up there, not the real pattern number. But this is just a mommy and me pajama pattern. I liked it because I usually do Christmas pajamas for my family every year, and by I do, I mean I buy them from Target. But my son has started fighting me on it because he's getting older, and my husband has never really been in favor of it. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to get them into matching Christmas pajamas again. Last year might have been the last year, maybe the year before. So, but my mini-me, Miss Socialite, is more than happy to play along. So this would be good holiday pajamas for the two of us. I really like the romper pattern at the bottom. My camera won't focus. With the ruffle on the sleeves and the ruffle on the shorts. It does call for knits. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go back to Joann's and end up with some doodle fabric, or I'll check out Knit Pop or Girl Charlie or So English for some holiday themed knits. I hate interlock, but an interlock might actually work pretty good for pajamas because it's a little heavier. If not, like a Liverpool would be nice. I'm going to find something with a holiday print. A double brush poly would be nice. Maybe not the warmest, but it would be really soft. So this will probably get made before the holidays, hopefully, if I have time. Next up is the bodysuit. I'm really a fan of bodysuits. I'm sure you guys have noticed that. I keep picking them up and trying them out or testing them. This one is one of my favorite kind of bodysuits because it's blousy, like the Camacha Fairy bodysuit, but it still is a bodysuit. So I like that it's not super fitted, but that it still gives you like the warmth of being a bodysuit. I really like bodysuits for the winter because I hate feeling like I have to tuck my undershirt down into my pants all the time. And so bodysuits are great for giving you that all-in coverage and knowing that your shirt is going to stay where it needs to stay. And it keeps, to me, like the warmth in, like I don't have to worry about cold air hitting my back or my side because the bodysuit's there as a layer of warmth, like undershirt. I also purchased Mimi G's 8749. It's the blazer and pants pattern, like fitted pants pattern. I had actually already bought this in the women's sizes, which I think is from 10 to 18. And after looking at the finished measurements, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to fit in the 18. So I bought the women's size here from 20 to 28 to cut out the 20. Thankfully, I made a muslin before I cut into my good wool fabric, and the 20 was too big, so I had to go back to the 18 pattern and make some adjustments, but I'm done with them. I'm just working on the blazer next. The next two are duplicates. I purchased this, which I already had in my stash, because I bought it before I gained some of this weight, and this pattern I had in the 0 to 14 size. It's 8541, sorry. I had it in the 0 to 14 size, and I definitely need at least a 16, maybe the 18. So I went back and just swapped it out. I hadn't cut or touched that pattern, so I was able to just make a switch at Joann's because I want to make this coat this winter, so I grabbed it. And then lastly, I grabbed Simplicity 1049 or 1059, sorry. And this is one of those retro vintage Simplicity patterns. I purchased it a couple of years ago when I had already cut it out in a 12 when I was about 30 pounds lighter. And now that's not gonna work. So I went ahead and bought the larger size because I had some fabric that I wanted to make this with for like early fall, late summer, and I never got around to it. And so this will be right on time for next spring, or hopefully I'll lose 20 pounds by then and I won't need it, but we'll see. Okay, that's all the patterns. Let's move on to the fabric. I mentioned I was going to make Mimi G Simplicity 8749, and for that I needed a lining for the blazer. So I bought this stretch satin from Joann's. It's not really lining fabric, it's a bit heavy, but I'm thinking for a winter blazer that will actually be okay. I'm hoping that this doesn't make it too thick. We'll see what happens. It feels really great. It has a nice little tad of stretch. I used this fabric also for a bomber jacket I made last year. So you can check that out on my blog. The link will be down below. I made it for a contest on Fabric Mart, and the challenge was reversible. So when I put the bomber jacket on, I did a Ankara print on one side and a black and white like Letterman jersey on the other using the satin. And when I wear that with the Ankara side out, the satin feels so good against your skin. So I wanted to line it with something a little bit softer and nicer than just regular cheap lining fabric at Joann. So I went for the satin. Casa Fabrics, the formal wear sort of fabrics, was also 60% off this weekend. So that's another reason why I went ahead and got this, because it was actually cheaper than the regular lining fabric. While I was in the Casa section, I came across this stretch mesh. And I'm assuming this was for like prom wear. you know, for when you have the sheer bodice up top and then like a velvet dress or something, I don't know. But they had this stretch mesh. It wasn't with the swimwear as a power mesh, and it wasn't with the loungewear as like a compression mesh. It was with the Casa fabric, so it was 60% off. Why'd I buy it? I bought it because Miss Socialite has been requesting / demanding some leggings. She loves leggings and joggers for the winter. She's already requested a black basic pair of leggings because that goes with everything, and she wants another black pair that has some kind of mesh inset cut out or whatever that's really popular in all the athletic wear now. So since this was on sale for like $2 or $3 a yard, I went ahead and got a yard of this black stretch mesh so I can make her some kind of inset in a pair of leggings. Lastly, if you saw my recent post, I don't know when this video will go live, but it'll be soon. So the recent post, because I just posted it today, was for a green chino wrap front top. It was New Look 6560. Check the link down below to check that out. But it was gorgeous. I fell in love with it. It's a nice pattern. It's going to be my new TNT wrap shirt pattern, like hands down. And I made it out of a green stretch chino from Joann's. I loved it so much once I finished with it that I went back to Joann's and I got the white stretch chino. Yeah. This was on sale a while back because it was a spring fabrics. It's in the Tropic Time lineup collection or whatever at Joann's, and they were really discounting that heavily when they were trying to get the new fall fabric in. For some reason that discount seemed to slip away, but like I said, all of the fabrics were on a pretty decent sale this weekend. I believe this was 60% off. So I could still use the 20% off coupon because it was a regular and sale price coupon. So this came down to I think $5 or $6 a yard. Anyway, I liked the way that my green one turned out so much that I figured who doesn't need a basic white wrap shirt. Again, that's a short sleeve pattern. I think it has a long sleeve view, but I don't care for those. So this will just stay in my stash until next spring. But I have it and I'll be ready when it comes around. That's all I got fabric wise and pattern wise. I did pick up a couple of extra stuff that I didn't really need. Buttons. So I mentioned I was making that Mimi blazer out of some red wool, and I needed a single button for the blazer. It's just a one button blazer. So I picked up these red buttons. I'm not 100% sure that this is the right color to go with that, but I liked them, so I grabbed them. And while I was in the button section, I saw all these buttons on clearance. So I got these black ones for just 50 cents. I feel like they'll work for a nice dressy blouse, cuffs, or the like little button at the top of your neck for a blouse or a dress. I have these white pearlescent ones that I grabbed for 50 cents a piece, so I grabbed 2 packs. I think these could be cuffs or something. I grabbed these larger black ones because they had like a 6 button, a 6-hole button, which I thought was a little interesting. I grabbed these brown, sort of like faux wooden looking buttons. I have no idea what I need these for, but I liked them. And they were 50 cents. And then I grabbed these navy buttons. They're just basic round navy buttons. And I grabbed these 25-cent clear buttons. They're basically just the buttons that come on the inside of any ready-to-wear garment. They're that button that's on the inside of your tab front pants that you can't see. Just those buttons that are never really seen. And I also grabbed some bias tape. This is actually piping. I bought this to also put in the inside of the blazer. I did something similar on my Claire coat where I put this sandwiches in between the lining and the facing on the inside of the coat to give it that sort of high-end touch. Well, that's all. I was pretty good. I only spent about $40 on my 2 trips, and that's what I bought from Joann's. What did you get? Tell me in the comments. Bye.